liberty instead of that medical tyranny. Oh, that's weird. I got audio but no visual. What the sweet heck, man, is going on here? Oh, we got the visual. How do I sound? How are my levels? Ooh, I sound good. I almost sound too good. I might need to mess up my voice a little bit here today so that I don't sound so darn good. Now, who is ready to start the frickin' show, man? I don't want to start talking too much before we start the show. So, who's ready to start the frickin' show? Hello everyone, it's me, Mitch Murphy, the Redpill rapper on TopTrans.ca. Welcome back to another episode of the Redpill Rapper Show, man. Today is a very special day. No fade out today, man. We got too much to get into, too much to dig into, and Karen 1776 took way too freaking long, man. She went over schedule, but you know what? The show was hot. She had a very special guest on. If you guys are interested, her show is called Karen 1776 Hot Wife Music on the Jack Klassen Radio Network, and you can catch it live at either 10 or 11, depending on the day, p.m. on the Jack Klassen Show on the D Live. Now, I got a lot to talk to you people about today, but first I got to tell you about my sponsor, and no, my sponsor is not Don't Step on Snake. That's not my sponsor, but remember, don't step on snake. Don't step on the snake. Our sponsor for the day is The Resistance, man. And I've got some very special news. Man. You guys have heard me talking about The Resistance for a while, but now I got to tell you, we got a promo code. We got a freaking promo code. Everybody's been waiting, man. Everybody's been begging me. Redpill, please give me a freaking promo code. I want to buy a freaking sweatshirt so I can look cool and like you, Redpill, but I can't afford it. Well, the good news is that now you can. All you got to do is at checkout, ask my good friend Sarah. Ask her. Say, Sarah, have you heard of the Redpill rapper? And you will, in fact, receive 5% off whatever you're buying, man. Now, I know what you're wondering. I know what you want to know. If I order 600 sweatshirts from Sarah at The Resistance, is it going to be 5% applied to the whole lump sum? Yes! Yes! But you've got to ask me. You've got to say, have you heard of the Redpill rapper? After you do your email correspondence, email theresistance144@protonmail.com. It's spelled exactly how you would think. I know some of you might be thinking, Redpill, that is so hard to spell. Theresistance144@protonmail.com. How do I frickin' spell it? Well, I'm going to tell you. TheResistance144@protonmail.com. You can just frickin' figure it out, man. So, Corona, we got some very important stuff to talk to you about today. But before we get too far into the episode, I wanted to wish a huge, big, juicy congratulations to someone you may have heard of before. Teresa Tam just destroyed every single female powerlifting record in New Zealand ever. Teresa Tam went in and destroyed all these other women. It's insane. Can you believe it? But that's just a bit of a side piece. I wanted to wish congratulations to our favorite unelected health official, Teresa Tam. Congratulations. You did it on nothing but hard work, hard work and nothing else. And she's an inspiration to all of us. If you believe it, you can achieve it. If you want to smash every world record ever in your division, you can do it. All you got to do is work so freaking hard, like our good friend Teresa Tam. Anyway, with all that being said and all that out of the way, I'm going to talk to you about some stuff today. I have done some journalisming, man. I've done some serious, not corona. That's not what causes corona. I've done some journalisming. I did some digging, man. So, as you guys know, for months and months and months, I've been infiltrating the radical hug enthusiasts, gaining trust amongst their ranks by going out with them every weekend and yelling at traffic and listening to their dangerous, big, spooky, radical hug enthusiast misinformation, you know? I've been working hard, so much so that I've even done trips to Vancouver with them, allegedly. And, you know, we've been having some fun. We've been doing stuff like this. For those of you that are listening on the audio, which, just so you guys know, every episode, including quite a few that are not on this YouTube channel, are on of the Redpill Rapper Show. It's on the JACK KLASSEN radio network, man, on all streaming platforms. If you like going for runs, if you like putting those little cords into your ear holes and listening to people talk all the time, just look up the Redpill Rapper Show, man. You'll find it. It's under the JACK KLASSEN radio network, just like Karen 1776 Hot Wife Music, man. Can you believe it? It's insane. So, yeah, I've gotten to know these people pretty well, you know, pretty well, all in hopes that I'll be able to band together with our good friend health expert Heather and abolish that pesky Charter of Rights and Freedoms. You know, I can't believe we still got that thing. It's so outdated, right? I mean, I think they even wrote it with quills. We can't have that pesky Charter of Rights and Freedoms in our way. What do you think? We can have peaceful assembly in this country? I don't think so, man. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. Now, some of my friends, they arranged to go have a chat with some of our politicians because they're not very happy. You know, they're not very happy about what our politicians have been doing. And so they, you know, they went to their office. They went to their office and lo and behold, our good friend, health expert Heather, showed up with her friends. So, as you can see, health expert Heather showed up with several RCMP officers to investigate. Investigate. So I'm just expanding some of these pictures here so you guys can have a good solid look. I don't want to block off that subliminal messaging that I got going on here. So if you look to your right, you will see a policeman with a nice fancy camera taking pictures of my friends. When my friends asked him, why are you taking pictures? He said, it's for our investigation. You know, they're under investigation for hug crimes, as far as I can tell, because I don't know what crime's been committed. Having too much fun? Maybe that's it. You know what I think it is, actually, is if you look over here, you'll see there is, in fact, a Nigerian coronavirus variant identified in BC. Maybe it's their fault, hey? Maybe it's their fault for staging these protests and, you know, utilizing that pesky Charter of Rights and Freedoms that we have. And, you know, engaging in radical hugging and stuff like that. So something that I found amazing is that our good friend, health expert Heather, has teamed up with her friends at the RCMP. Now, health expert Heather, if you don't know, is actually the organizer of a super virtuous, super loving counter-protest movement. You know what I'm saying? Very virtuous, very full of love, peace, love, positivity, all that kind of stuff. I've actually got a little clip of it here.
Fuck you! With the deep-seated passion, everything I have in my body, fuck you!
So that's our good friend, health expert Heather. You know, just engaging in a little bit of peaceful protest, nothing crazy. And, you know, looks kind of familiar, hey? Same outfit and everything. Weird. So she's teamed up with her good friends at the RCMP to investigate my friends for thought crimes. Which is very interesting. You know, it's so funny. Like I got in a bunch of trouble on my Facebook feed, right? Because my good friend, allegedly Suzanne, recorded a video of herself getting ticketed. Well, I think she was leaving a protest and she honked her horn at her friends and go, oh, hey guys, what's going on? And about, I think it was 11 to 15, something like that. You know, somewhere in that range, more than 10. A bunch of cops, they, you know, they surrounded her vehicle and, in my opinion, harassed her and wrote her a ticket for excessive noise. Now, what allegedly Suzanne would say is that they did that, Corona, because she's well known in the protest community, you know? That's why she was saying hi to everybody. She would say they were harassing her for thought crimes, essentially, is what's going on. And my friend, allegedly Suzanne, called them Gestapo, called them Nazis. And I posted the video, and I said something along the lines of, my friend, allegedly Suzanne, is on fire all the time. This woman's at 100, and she's the best. Which I stand by that statement. And a bunch of my friends that haven't said a word about pastors being locked up for the crime of pastoring, preaching, speaking the word of God. That's literally what these people are getting locked up for. In Canada, okay, they haven't said a word about that. They don't care. They also don't care about the Canadians that have been detained against their will after flying in on an international flight and getting a negative PCR test. One of them was a pastor's wife, by the way. And when they do this, they don't tell the family where they're going. They put them into a van with blacked out windows and they ship them away. And then they put them into hotels that are owned by China. And sometimes they charge these people $2,000 after the forceful detainment. Isn't that incredible? These people have nothing to say. They have nothing to say about that. But all of a sudden they're upset at my friend, allegedly Suzanne, because she's being mean to these poor old, nice, just doing their job cops. You know what I mean? And it's so amazing because my friends that are coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden that are all butthurt, they are using the defense of these cops and saying, why are you harassing these men? They're just doing their job. And I took a step back and I went, hold on. My friend, allegedly Suzanne, is being ticketed for engaging in peaceful assembly. And so she calls them Gestapo. My friends defend the police for, criminalizing protests by saying they're just doing their job. They're saying they're not Gestapo, they're just doing their job. Have you ever heard of the frickin' Nuremberg trials, man? Do you know what the most common defense was? I was just doing my job, man. I was just pushing pencils around. And, the big fancy man with a fancier hat than me and a shinier badge told me that this is what I'm supposed to do. I was just doing my job. Ask the people in the Nuremberg trial how that one worked out. Don't ask the people that went through Operation Paperclip because they might have a bit of a different story. But I just found that very interesting. They're like, they're not Nazis. They're just doing their job. Like, man, read a book, okay? Read a book. Like, I'm no expert, like our good friend health expert Heather. But, I know enough to know that just doing your job is not enough to justify going against the basic Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Okay, sorry. So I found that very interesting that the organizer of a protest is collaborating with the RCMP to investigate organizers of a protest. To investigate them for organizing a protest. So let me get this straight. So we've got health expert Heather over here. Who is collaborating with the RCMP. She is collaborating with the RCMP to... Jack's calling me, man. I don't have time for that. She's collaborating with the RCMP in order to... Okay, so we've got health expert Heather over here. She's collaborating with the RCMP to investigate the organizers of a protest. Okay? She is the organizer of... Allegedly. I don't know if she's the organizer, but she's sure the, involved.
Deep-seated passion! Everything I have in my body! Fuck you!
So I just think that's so funny. I think that's so interesting that these people are like, the only thing that will get them to come out and voice their opinion is allegedly Suzanne calling them Gestapo. Nothing else. They don't care about anything else. Like, man, I just can't believe this country, man. But you know what, dude? All these people in the freedom rallies, like I think a lot of us have had this question in our minds at one point or another as far as how would you have acted during the, Nazi occupation? And I know we're not there yet. I'm not trying to say that we are, but I'm at a point now where like the stuff that's going on, it's pretty fair to call these guys Gestapo. And it's at a point right now where it's a derogatory thing to say, it's an inflammatory thing to say, but it's not unreasonable, okay? Like, I have literally been working security for church, had them come in, and we're beside a pub where people are in there drinking themselves to death at the time of this happening, okay? So I work security for a church, I found a narc in the parking lot, I chased him out, he comes back 20 minutes later with cops, lets them in a back door, they go up to the Sunday school, the women in charge lock the kids that are involved in Sunday school. They lock them in a separate room. And the cops leverage the kids that are locked in this room that are scared because statist goons with Gestapo with guns came in. Leverage the kids to try to flush out the parents, okay? And I got off the phone with my friend Tobias Tissin today, the infamous thought criminal behind Drive-In Church in Manitoba, the Church of God in Alamer. The cops there, they picked out every license plate that went to church. And this is like a small community, okay? They picked out every license plate at his church, and what they did was they went door to door to each one of those registered, whoever was registered to those license plate, and handed out fines. They handed out fines, and this is for church, man, okay? So if anybody's wondering how you would have acted during the Nazi occupation, now you know. Now you know, because we have people that are, in the name of public health, apparently, that are snitching on church, that are snitching on family dinner. And they get raving reviews, man. But just know, you guys are on this team, okay?
Fuck you! With the deep-seated passion, everything I have in my body, fuck you!
So that's your team. This is my team. For those listening on the D Live, it's or listening on some streaming service or whatever later on. Me and my friends, it's me holding a sign that says "Liberate Canada." My good friend beside me says "Buy local" or "Buy local." Next one says "Positive PCR test results mean you're a normal, healthy human being." The next one says "We are all essential." The next one says "Defund mainstream media." Okay, like, do you get it yet? Do you get it yet? The only reason that they say that we're white nationalists, the only reason they say like any of these nasty things about us is because they don't like the signs. The only reason that we're under investigation, the only reason that we're under investigation is because they don't like the signs that we're holding. And man, I just know for myself, I don't care what, like, let's say this was like an Antifa protest or a BLM protest or something like that, and they had no history of violence, they were completely peaceful, and they were under investigation like this, being harassed like this. I would be so up in arms. I would be so butthurt, you guys, and I genuinely mean that. And I hope that if the day ever comes that something like this is happening to a group that I disagree with, I hope you guys hold me to account, because I mean it. I mean it. I would stand on principle with the people that I disagree with. Because the right to peaceful assembly is so important, and nobody gives a shit anymore, man. Because it's like, I get it. You think that these mandates keep us super, super duper uber safe, but when do we get the charter back? You know, everybody keeps saying, oh, of course we lose freedoms during a time of an emergency. And so, okay, I'll grant you that it's an emergency. I sure don't think it is, but let's say it is. When do we get that charter back? When do we get it back? Nobody can answer me that question, because it's been 2 weeks to flatten the curve for about a year. We just hit that anniversary of 1 year. So this is getting ridiculous. This is getting out completely ridiculous. Like, these radical hug enthusiasts are so demonized. But here we are, man. We are the resistance. We see the reality, and we're not going to step down, man. We're not going to step down. We're not going anywhere. We don't care what you call us. We don't care what you call us. We don't care what you do to us. We're here, man. I can't speak for everybody else, but I myself, I'm willing to do time for this, man. I'm willing to do, I'm willing to sacrifice a lot more for freedom and for liberty. Sorry, thought crime alert, Jack Klassen Radio Network. You know what? Just let me play this here. That's my new bumper. Every time I commit a thought crime, it's going to be like this. Like, if I ever say, I don't believe that minorities need to be coddled because I think that we're equal. That's what I'm going to do. Or every time I say, we should have the Charter of Rights and Freedoms regardless of whether or not the television tells us to be afraid. Sorry, guys. Or if I say, I'm a firm believer in liberty or death. That's it, man. That's the new bumper. Corona. That's how I'm going out, man. That's how I'm doing it. Because, dude, this shit that's going... Like, people... It's so funny. I think people think that back in... or not even... You don't even have to go back. But, Nazi Germany is the easiest one to go to, right? But... people think that under authoritarian regimes, I guess they think that, that you're in one because, you're being oppressed every day, all the time, it never ends. There's just, I guess that's what they think it is. I don't know. I don't really understand the thought process of these people. Because we're living in an authoritarian state right now, and people seem to have no issue. They're, I feel safe. I feel safe. But I guess they think that it must have just been like nonstop harassment from the police. But dude, under an authoritarian state, like I'm sure even in Nazi Germany, most of the time, most of the people just lived their normal lives. They just went to work and then they came home and it was all good. But there would be weird things happening in society, like at the extreme end, and if we continue down this rate, if they keep pushing these mandates and they get stronger, I'm talking like a year, 2 years, something like that. What it would look like is normal everyday life, but once in a while you hear, oh, Jim Bob down the street, yeah, he's not here anymore. Oh, where's Jim Bob? I don't know where he is. he'd be like, oh, well, his family got a letter in the mail saying that, you know, he needs to go to this camp or something. Because, like, in Nazi Germany, what would happen is these people, handicapped people would get scooped up. And then the family would get a letter in the mail saying, well, we, you know, we took old Jim Bob, we took him away for, I don't know, to put his legs straight, right? Like, if his legs were crooked or his back was crooked, they'd be like, yeah, we've got our top doctors working on it. And then 2 months later, they'd be like, oh, he had an accident, he fell into a well, and he died. And they were giving out millions of those, right? And so that's what would happen. And if you questioned it, there'd be big trouble, right? You weren't allowed to question it. You just heard, oh, Jim Bob went away, right? But other than that, life was normal. There's just weird stuff like that. And, you know, journalists, it would happen. A journalist would go away if they engaged in wrong things. But, man, this kind of stuff, it all starts with under investigation. It all starts with things like that. It all starts when the organizer of a protest collaborates with the police to investigate people who are protesting what she disagrees with. Like, this is straight up fascism, man, and it's so funny. Like, our friend Skinny Jeans dipshit across the street that likes to hang out with Heather, he loves calling us fascists, right? But, like, these guys are up to no good. They're up to this kind of shit, right? Like that. It's out of control, man. Now, I'm not trying to say that we're living in a fascist state right now, but I'm not saying, just saying, that's it. Corona. But yeah, I guess that these people that have just been like totally silent and like to make fun of my friend Suzanne and make fun of me and stuff like that, I guess they just think in my opinion, they just don't understand what it must be like living in an authoritarian state. Because this is it. It's just, you know, things like basic rights being pulled away from you while the public cheers it on, you know? Like the right to peaceful assembly. Because as far as I can tell, the right to peaceful assembly is dead. It's dead and gone. We don't have it anymore. You can read about it in Druthers, the one good newspaper that we have in this godforsaken country. I don't think I have a copy with me. Druthers, Druthers. You're going to be seeing more of those guys, man, because they're good. They're getting the truth out there, man. They're doing a great job. I love those people. And if anybody wants a copy, let me know. Email me at redpill@thoughtcrimes.ca. It's free. It's free. I'll just give it to you, man. I don't care. But with all that being said, I had some other news I wanted to get to you guys because I allegedly, I don't know if it was real or not, but I went to Vancouver, man. Sorry. I went to Vancouver for a mega rally, man. I went to Vancouver for a freaking mega rally, and I had so much fun. It was honestly, man, it was one of like the best weekends of my life. It really was a beautiful time. Made some really good memories with some really good friends who I love, man. I love these people. And the news came after us. Can you believe it, man? But before we dig into it too much, let's play a little game called Can You Spot the Red Pill Rapper? Can you spot the Red Pill Rapper? That's courtesy of the Daily Hive in Vancouver, which I found interesting. I'd actually never heard of that outlet before. It's like the Hive, Hive, Corona. That says a lot about their outlook, right? They view the city as a hive, like a beehive. You know what I mean? Like honey, like they're generating honeycomb. Like we're all working as a collective in this one little clump, right? We're a hive. We're a hive mind. That phrase comes to mind. You guys see where I'm going with this? I just found that interesting. I'm not trying to throw shade at the Hive. I'm sure they're great. I'm sure they get no funding from, you know, dark money sources like China. I can't imagine they would get anything like that. Corona, but the Hive. I don't know. I just thought that was weird. I don't want to go too far down that, you know, that rabbit hole there. But that's a little game called Can You Spot the Red Pill Rapper? I'm getting pretty good at that game. I'm everywhere, man, because it feels good. It feels good. Like, check this out for a second. Let's just fast forward. Here we go. Where is it? Right here. Like, man, I I've always thought to myself, like, you know, if I lived through Nazi Germany or something like that, or if I lived through like an authoritarian takeover our country, I'd be one of the people that would be brave and would stand against it and would fight to the bitter end to stop it. And now I know that I am that person. And that feels good, man. That feels really good, that in the face of all the vitriol of the public and, you know, and all the names and all the hatred coming from the other side, man, and just like the vitriol, these people looking me in the eyes over dozens and dozens and dozens of times, telling me that they hope my family dies of corona, telling me that they hope I don't get, telling me that they hope I get my healthcare revoked, which actually I think is not a bad idea as long as I don't have to pay taxes. That's a fair deal, man. What if everybody that goes to these freedom rallies gets the option to have no more healthcare, but we don't have to pay our taxes anymore? You know what I mean? What? I'm down for that. Who else is down for that, man? I love that. Because maybe I'll start my own health insurance company. Weird. Maybe it would be better. But that's besides the point. But yeah, man, all of us should be really, really proud of ourselves because we've all sacrificed, man. We've all made some major sacrifices for this movement, but it's because it's liberty or it's death. And you can't beat that out of us, man. For whatever reason, I don't know why, some of us have that in our blood. It runs through our veins, and you can try to re-educate us all you want. You can try to propagandize us all you want. You can try to program us all you want. You can shame us. You can call us names. But you're never going to get that mentality out of us, man. Don't step on snake. You're never getting that out of our heads, man, because it's there. So, sorry. Sorry, man. I know you guys hate that mentality, but we have it, and we can't help it. Man, some people just can't help it. Some of us just hate being told what to do. Some of us can't stand it. Some of us can't stand it when we go to a restaurant and they go, you gotta put on hand sanitizer. And we go, no, that's bad for you. And they go wash your hands. Like, man, a grown adult. Sometimes it's like a 19, 18-year-old girl that's talking to me like that. Man, some of us just can't take it, okay? And maybe it's because we're egomaniacs. I sure don't think so. Maybe it's because we believe that we have autonomy over our own bodies. Maybe it's because we actually believe my body, my choice. Well, all these fake leftists were chanting that, a year ago? Just because it's what the television told them to say? Some of us actually believed that, okay? And that's coming from a guy who believes abortion is murder, okay? But I'm principled, all right? I don't believe that it's my right to tell people what they can and can't do, all right? Now, with that being said, if I was president of Canada, I would say there's a pretty good argument that abortion is murder, so we're not going to fund it with stolen tax money, but that's besides the point. My point is that we are the kind of people that believe my body, my choice. We believe that you don't have a choice. You don't get to decide that I get to put this like refined vodka on my hands because I'm walking into your place, and that it's unbelievable, man. And a lot of us can't do it. We just can't. And so good luck, man. You can keep trying to shame us. You can keep calling us names, but we're not going to stop, man. We can't help it. We just can't help it. We're almost as fired up as our friend health expert Heather. We're passionate, man. But the big one I really wanted to go over with you guys was this one. This one's important.
I've come to speak to the people that are gathering today at the rally.
So this is our friends at Globalist News. And I'm excited to go over this one with you guys. I'm very excited. Because again, I was there. And so I get to see what's actually going on. And I would like to point out, because I don't think they show it, Corona, the reporter... The reporter was wearing a helmet. He must have just gotten back from a really big rollerblading tournament or something. But he had a helmet on. I can't. I know he's passionate about rollerblading, but I can't handle it, man.
This is what happened when we set up to interview one of the top billed speakers at Saturday's Grand Freedom Rally in Vancouver. It took the help of a couple of police officers before we could proceed. The interview was important because Dr. Stephen Malthouse is the first practicing doctor in BC who we've spoken with who's been willing to put his professional reputation on the line and publicly challenge the government's response to the pandemic.
So think about the dialogue there, right? They let him say his piece, which is good. Thank God they let him say something, but it's because at this point they're pigeonholed. where they have to, like they don't have a choice. They have to put something of his there. So he's, here is a medical doctor saying these mandates are hurting people, and wouldn't it be great if they let him elaborate, if they let him talk a little bit more, or what if they aired his speech? They keep telling the whole public that these rallies are so full of dangerous misinformation, but they never tell you the information. Don't you guys think that's weird? Don't you think it's weird that you keep hearing that we're spreading misinformation, disinformation, false information, but they never tell you what we're saying? Don't you think that's weird? Don't you think that's just a little freaking weird, man? Don't you think? Because I'm not a doctor. I haven't done my research, but I sure find it compelling when David Lindsay tells me that the alleged COVID spike in Italy was caused by running 45 cycles of the PCR test, and that when the WHO told them they should drop it down to between 25 and 35, that case rate, it's dropped in half around the whole freaking world, and death rate stayed the exact same. So things like that, when you hear, that's what I'm hearing at these rallies, and then all that everybody else hears on the news is that it's disinformation. But I don't know. They didn't tell me what's false. Like, does that mean every single thing that David Lindsay says or that this doctor says? Does that mean that every single thing that they said is a lie? Because, man, even the best propagandists know that the best lie starts with a grain of truth. So why not? Why not videotape the speech and then tell the people what's false about it instead of just telling them that it's false? Because is everything that this guy's a medical doctor? I thought we were supposed to trust the experts. Is everything that he says a lie?
What we're being told to do, the measures that are being rolled out, the rules that are being created for people to follow in British Columbia are actually causing a great deal of harm.
Malthouse challenges the
God bless that man. Malthouse is an absolute legend.
Science behind mask wearing, social distancing, and lockdowns. It's a message that's well received here.
See that? So they're setting it up. They're like, oh, these guys found a doctor who's going to say exactly what they want to hear. Or maybe we just use common sense to deduce that these mandates don't make any sense. And maybe there's one doctor in this whole godforsaken province that has the balls to come out and tell the truth. What? Maybe there's one guy who's looked at the numbers and has the balls, because everybody else knows that they'll lose their job because it's fake. Okay, sorry. Okay, I better get this one before I get in trouble. Because it's fake. It's fake. Corona as a brand is fake. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's a real virus. I'm sure it's big and spooky and scary, but why didn't we have any of this with H1N1? You know what I mean? Like, I get it with Ebola because that's like a disease. It's different. It's transmittable only through like direct bodily fluid functions, that kind of stuff. But H1N1, a ton of people were hospitalized, but we didn't shut down the whole world. Maybe it's because it wasn't on the right timeline, or maybe it's because it was a stepping stone. Because maybe, just maybe, you guys, maybe they want to use this pandemic to prop up their biggest campaign donors. And when I say they, I mean every big party in this godforsaken country, man. Every single party takes corporate donations, okay? And it's all tied back to the bank. It's all tied, and people love hearing about big scary Bill Gates, right? He's funding a lot of this stuff, man, and he's I think he's one of the largest shareholders of Costco. Man, it's a mess, dude. Like, maybe these people have some kind of benefit to crushing the middle class and propping up big corporations, man. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm just saying, man, like, maybe that is why a medical doctor is not allowed to give his opinion without losing his entire career. Maybe that's why, okay? Man.
The virus, in quotes, has never been isolated or purified in a lab.
So it's so funny, man. Like, of course they find this woman. And I don't want to speak ill of her, and I respect her right to believe that and to say that. And maybe she's right, dude. I don't know. But my point is that, isn't it funny? You look at this crowd, right? Look who's there. You see all shapes and sizes and ages and demographics, but you see a lot of people around here that don't look like they would say this.
In quotes, has never been isolated or purified in a lab.
So they find this woman who just straight up doesn't believe that coronavirus exists whatsoever, right? And isn't that convenient that they find her? Of all people, like, man, these people hate us and they hate you, and they don't want you to have an accurate understanding of what the rally is and why we would come to a rally, man. And there's people like this, don't get me wrong, and they're welcome. They're welcome. That's her belief, and she wants to make that sign, and she wants to go out and you know, utilize the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and she wants to be brave and live free because she doesn't believe in any of this. That's fine, but it's just, they're supposed to be reporting. They're supposed to be telling you what this is and what's going on, but that's not what they're doing. They're looking for, and again, I'm sorry to this woman, I mean no disrespect, but they're looking for the worst representation of our movement possible.
A year into Canada's story of the pandemic, and this movement is going strong, but evolving.
That's a straight up Kelowna sign, man. Lock her up. Ooh, sorry guys, my bad.
Now insisting they be identified as freedom fighters, not anti-maskers.
You know what's so funny about that, man? Like, the implication is that we asked to be called anti-maskers. It's like, dude, nobody ever wanted that. We never asked for that. We never identified as that. That's never what it was about, okay? That's never what it was about. The mask is a part of it, and nobody will deny that. Nobody will deny that the mask mandate is a part of it. But what it is it's the most obvious. But the reason that they've wanted to refer to us as anti-masks since day one is because it's a straw man argument. It's because and maybe that's too strong of a phrase. Maybe there's a better phrase. But my point is that just like they're picking out the worst representations when they're going for the interviews, they do the same thing when they're trying to label us, right? Is they pick what they believe is our weakest point. You know what I mean? And as far as the public's perception, it is, because a message that really resonates with the public is it's just a mask, right? It's just a mask. Just put a mask on. Why are they so upset about the mask? Because people have this mentality that if I can put a mask on to save a couple grandmas, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But that's not the point. The point is that men with guns are telling us what we can and can't wear. Okay? Like, sorry, Thought Crime Alert, Jack Klassen Radio Network. But that's what it is. It's a problem. That's a problem, okay? Like, man, imagine if Jagmeet Singh got into power and he was like, well, it's my belief that the turban is everybody needs to wear one, and so I'm going to send men with guns to make sure everybody grows out their hair and wears a turban. And, would the public say, it's just a turban? And like, man, I'm going to get me in trouble. I better play this. My lawyer told me if I play that, I can't get arrested for thought crimes, because I'm genuinely not trying to like make that like a racial thing or anything like that. It's just, my point is that my body, my choice. You don't get to tell me what I put on my body. You don't get to tell me what to put on my body. I don't get to get voted in as president of Canada and tell you that you have to wear a resistance ball cap. because I think that if everybody wore one, they'd be reminded of taking a stand against tyranny, like, or whatever. That's not how this works.
And emphasizing even more their anger.
Oh, you can see the resistance there. Ooh.
And distrust of the media.
I support the truth. Like, Trump is the president of the world. He's still the president of the world.
Whoa, where have I seen that face before?
Trump, fuck the Trump.
They came to sound the alarm.
They sure like that guy, hey? Don't you think that's weird?
Trump, fuck the Trump.
They came to sound the alarm for
so that's from my video called When Globalist News Attacks. That clip that I just pulled out there separate. Don't you think that's interesting that they sure like this guy? Why do you think out of thousands of people that they could be interviewing, that they just so happen to found the same guy twice? Don't you think that's a little bit weird?
Trump, fuck the Trump.
They came to sound the alarm.
It's almost as if that guy is saying exactly what they want to put on the news.
The truth, like, Trump is the president of the world. He's still the president of the world.
That guy's hilarious, by the way. I don't mean to... Again, I don't want to disparage him. Like, he's great. I'm glad he's there. And I'm glad... Man, it must feel so good for him to be able to just go out there and flag his Trump flag, because as far as you can tell, with this crazy shit he's saying, I'm sure he's like a Q guy or whatever. Corona. But I'm glad that he doesn't feel alone. I'm glad that he feels welcome. I'm glad he feels invited to just come and you know, speak his thing. But I just find that very interesting that, you know, that's like 4 months apart and they find the same guy. They don't have anybody else to interview, you know, of all the different people that are there. They find the same guy twice.
Emphasizing even more their anger and distrust of the media.
I support the truth. Like, Trump is the president of the world. He's still the president of the world.
Fiction.
So interesting.
At one point, reporters covering this event were singled out and reminded of their professional obligations.
We were singled out. Well, like, this guy's literally writing pieces calling us neo-Nazis and fascists and all these things, and he's so butthurt. They singled me out. They're mean to me.
Do your job.
Do your job.
Do your job.
Yeah.
Rallies like these, which happen in defiance of the public health orders, have brought this withering response from BC's Solicitor General.
They are the problem.
Oh, okay. Okay, buddy. Okay. All right. BC's top doctor that says Nigerian coronavirus variant identified in BC.
From BC's Solicitor General.
They are the problem.
You're the problem, motherfucker. Sorry. Oops, I better... Oh, one second. I don't want to get sued here. Like, man, these guys literally just botch the whole thing from day one. They don't bother to, like, slow down immigration. They don't bother to shut down international travel. I'm not saying they should either. I'm not saying they should. I'm not trying to give these guys any ideas because I know they love rules. But man, they screw up the whole thing. They can't even get the vaccines over here. They just, like, these people suck at their job. And so they just want you to blame us, man. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. Which, that picture of Kami's hilarious. For people that are just listening on the stream, it is a picture of Kami Henry with a little, like, Pinocchio mouth and a big Pinocchio nose. I think she might be implying that Kami Henry's a liar. I'm not implying that. I'm just saying, it's kind of weird. But these people suck at their jobs, and they want you to blame us, man. But, like... It's just so obvious. I can't believe people still don't see it. I could just... weep. It's such a mess, man. These people suck at their job and they want you to blame these big scary anti-maskers.
Withering response from BC's Solicitor General.
They are the problem. And the sooner we get this curve bent down, the sooner we get COVID under control, then they can go back to their narcissistic, self-indulgent ways.
Yeah, man. Narcissistic and self-indulgent. I wish we could all be virtuous like all these health experts.
With the deep-seated passion, everything I have in my body, fuck you!
Like, man, right now I'm kind of wishing that I could have just streamed on D-Live so that I could have a few more choice words for
they can go back to their
narcissistic,
self-indulgent ways.
Like, man, this motherfucker, this sick motherfucker, suicide rates have superseded coronavirus deaths, okay? And I happen to know people because I work security for a church that his goddamn Gestapo is trying to shut down, these godforsaken pieces of shit. This motherfucker, man, he wants you to, he's gonna call us narcissistic while his mandates are killing people, man. I work security for a church and we have addicts show up and I have to hold them in my arms and sit them down while my friends speak tongues over them. Like, because these people have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go, man. And my friends that are have been isolated for so long, and these people that are being detained, these pastors that are being put in jail, they're coming for the guns, they're doing this shit, and he's gonna call us narcissists? Man, I've got a few more choice words for this guy, but I better be careful because I want to keep my YouTube channel for just a little bit longer because I got a few more plans.
Withering response from BC's Solicitor General.
Which, by the way, when that day comes, if it comes out of nowhere, just know you guys can always find me on thoughtcrimes.ca, and probably on the Jack Klassen Radio Network forever as well. Definitely, yeah, you know what, on Podomatic, if you download the Podomatic app, I'll always be there on the Jack Klassen Radio Network, and I'll always be on thoughtcrimes.ca.
They are the problem. And the sooner we get this curve bent down, the sooner we get COVID under control, then they can go back to their narcissistic, self-indulgent ways.
Given...
Oh man, I could just fucking lose it. I'm sorry for my language. I know Santana likes to show these episodes to her little super spreader, but not this one, Santana. Don't show this one to spreader. But I gotta relax or I'm gonna pop off, man, because that makes me so mad. That makes me so mad. The audacity of this guy is just brutal, man. Just brutal. What's this?
That many here are pushing ideas and slogans that are not supportable by facts. We asked Dr. Malthouse if he's concerned that his stature as a licensed physician is egging them on.
I'm just telling people, don't take my word for it. Don't take Bonnie Henry's word for it. Do the research yourself. It's all out there. It's just not going to come to your cost on your TV set.
Fake news stories for them.
In Vancouver, Paul Johnson, Global News.
Fake news stories, right, man. I just can't even believe it. Oh, we're getting a call in from, here, I'm just going to put him on speaker here. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Okay, are you live?
Yeah, we're live, man. You gotta be nice, so we're on YouTube.
Well, I've got to be nice. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, I know you like talking all nasty, crazy stuff. You just... Well, this is Jack Klassen from the Jack Klassen Radio Network himself. He's world-renowned, Canada's last shock jock radio host. The guy's a free speech beast.
Hey, man, I was calling into we discovered someone who's a pedophile, and I wanted to expose him. But before that, dude, what's up with the vampire candle?
What? Which one?
The one behind you, dude. There's a vampire candle right there. Like, that's no Yankee candle. That's not like a dollar store candle. That's like a medieval, warding off spirits kind of candle.
I don't know, man. I just picked them up at Dollarama, all right? I'm sorry I can't afford the fancy beeswax ones, all right?
Can you please turn your lights on?
Maybe if you gave me a raise, Jack, maybe if you gave me a raise for the radio show, I'd get fancier candles.
Your video settings are upsetting me.
Can we talk about it after the show, man? We're freaking live, all right?
No, I know, but if you just turn your lights on, I'll feel a lot more comfortable.
All right.
It's telling you this information about this webcomic artist.
All right. What you got? You caught a pedophile on? You get him on Omegle this time, or what?
No, I caught him. They were making webcomics.
Oh.
Yeah, they were making webcomics. Assigned mail. She was taking pictures of babies and turning them into furry pictures.
Whoa.
Yeah, and she also, constantly saes nigger. It's the oddest...
Jack, you can't say that on the stream. Oh, Jack, you're going to get my stream pulled so fast, man. Okay, I'm never letting Jack call in unless I'm just on the D Live. He's a bad, nasty man, you guys. I publicly... Oh, hold on. Where is it? Jack's a bad, nasty man, you guys. Don't listen to his show. He's a nasty, nasty man. Oh, he just threw me off the rails. Corona. But with all that being said, we've got some other stuff that I wanted to go over with you guys. So everybody keeps telling me to trust the experts, right? So I thought I'd dig up some footage of Connie Henry and stuff that she's saying. So let's go over some of her expert health advice here.
Yes, hi. I'm asking a question today about the varying numbers of crowd sizes that have been applied across provinces in Canada. We're getting questions about it. Why is it 5 in Ontario and 50 here? And are we looking at reducing the sizes, given that people keep breaking that?
Yeah.
I don't know who's breaking it. We're all following the rules around here at the Resistance.
So we also had that discussion on our Special Advisory Committee call on Sunday across the country. And, it really is about, right now, all gatherings are off the table. We're all in that place where anytime we get together with more than our household members or our families, we're putting ourselves at risk. And particularly if we're going to be in contact with people who are older and more likely to have severe illness. So when I talk about 50, that's for mass gatherings, for events, for things that are happening in the community. Okay. And I am reticent to go, none of these are based on scientific evidence.
What was that you just said? Hold on, back that thing up.
None of these are based on scientific.
Hold on. I think my friend Pat King got pulled off Facebook for saying something like that.
It's for things that are happening in the community. And I am reticent to go. None of these are based on scientific evidence. There's some evidence in that. Some modeling that Alberta has done that shows that 18, if you have less than 18, your probability of having a case may be less, and so they went with 15. But the bottom line is, none of this really is based on science.
Oh my goodness, man. They just tell you. They'll just tell you. If you listen for long enough, they'll just tell you. Like, you gotta put your ear on the dirt and just if you listen really close, really, really close, you'll hear
these new variants that are being developed.
You just gotta listen so close.
These new variants that are being developed.
So close.
These new variants that are being developed.
Yeah, man, you just gotta really keep your ears out, and you'll hear it. You'll hear it, man. You'll hear it. You just gotta listen. You gotta listen close, man. That's it. Corona. So, in conclusion, honestly, like, the main reason that we're all here today is to wish a big congratulations to Theresa Tam, who just broke every women's powerlifting record in New Zealand. We're so proud of our friend Theresa Tam. She's doing great. Man, I can be so mean sometimes, you know what I mean? I can be so rude. Sorry. But I just want to bring some of these pictures up just as a little conclusion. And I just want everybody to be aware. Corona. Right now, we have the organizer of a protest working with RCMP to investigate organizers of a protest, to find them for protesting or something like that. It's just out of control, man. But you know what, dude? I wanted to, because, like, these guys are putting in a lot of work. You know what I mean? They're putting in a lot of work, and it's tax money that they stole from me. So I wanted to give, our good buddy over here, I wanted to give him a bit of a break. And I thought I'd tell these guys. So if you guys want to call the non-emergency line or something, I don't recommend that at all, actually. If you guys want to just, put it out on your social media, that's better. Don't call any non-emergency line or anything like that. I publicly condemn and disavow anybody who does that. But put it out on your Facebook that the resistance has secret underground meetings, man. And I'm sorry to admit it, but we don't wear our muzzles. We meet up and we talk about wrong think ideas. We meet up at 1435 Water Street, Kelowna. Feels good to get this off my chest, man. It's 1435 Water Street, Kelowna. We meet up. We get there at about 9 a.m. every day, and we're done by around 5 o'clock. We meet up there with a bunch of criminals, man, and we plot to, take fascist control over our society. Where we meet up at 1435 Water Street, Kelowna. We meet up there with a bunch of criminals about 8 hours every day, and we plan, we plot, and we conspire as far as how we can, keep people locked in their homes and isolated and unhealthy. And, we're in there with a bunch of criminals just doing a bunch of nasty stuff. So get the word out, man, that if they want to make their investigation a little bit easier, that's where all the criminals are hanging out. Me and that's where everybody is. It's 1435 Water Street. So thanks for tuning in, you people. I really appreciate you guys being here. I wanted to share one more thing with you guys before I go. It's a little ditty that is from my super fun trip that I had with my friends. One of my good friends recorded this. Let's just rotate this bad boy right now. Boom, and get the sound up and running here. Sorry, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm really, really, really glad that you're tuning in. Do. This fucking song. Hold on, whose phone is it playing on? I was vibing on this song hard, man. We're trying to get people across, okay, ready? Who's videotaping?
Yeah.
The red-pilled rapper, I don't really give a fuck about nobody other. I just wanna be me, I just wanna be free. I don't wanna be you, I just wanna be me. So let me be free and let me have everything that I've ever dreamed. And don't you dare try to take it from me, cause I'ma be me, I'ma be free. And there ain't nobody gonna motherfucking stop me. Hey. The red-pilled rapper, I don't really give a fuck about nobody other. I just wanna be me, I just wanna be free. I don't wanna be you, I just wanna be me. Let me be free, let me have everything that I've ever dreamed. Oh man, such good times. I had such good times with the Radical Hug enthusiasts this weekend. So, in conclusion, big congratulations to Theresa Tam for destroying every women's powerlifting record ever in New Zealand. And big congratulations to health expert Heather on her successful investigation on, tracking down these nasty Radical Hug enthusiast protesters for protesting the wrong thing. And listen, man, anybody... Corona, anybody that has issues with our movement but sees what's going on and you've got an issue, just march with us, man. You can wear a mask, okay? Like, I'm serious. I'm so serious, man. You can wear a mask, you can distance, you can do whatever you want. People will respect it, man. People will respect it. But if you guys aren't okay with this government tyranny and this expansion of power and this loss of freedoms in this country, march with us. March with us. I don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you think of my friend. I don't care what you think of the speakers at our events. I don't care. Just join us. We have to come together, man. We have to come together and do something about this, because this is brutal. This is brutal, and it's time to stop, man. It's time to stop. We got to be strong like Theresa Tam. We got to lift that bar up off the ground, throw it up over our heads, and say, no more tyranny. Don't tread on me. Liberty over medical tyranny. We got to do that, man. We got to do it, because it's time to stop, man. This country is going to be a mess, and if we don't pay for it, our kids will pay for it. If they don't pay for it, our grandkids will pay for it. All right? So take a stand. Take a stand, because everybody was so happy to walk for the these racially divisive movements and these useless movements. Take a stand with us, man, and don't step on snake.